Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the MPTV Coaches Show. Ryan Lindley, Brian Dieters, and we're talking first about cross country, which was really successful for both the boys and the girls at the EP Invite. Start girls, second overall as a team, but we had Brielle Hopkins won the EP Invite as an individual.
Fantastic to hear. Great job there, kiddo, and just great to see those kids really running at a good level as we're now into October and getting close to the end of the run here. So no pun intended.
Yeah, and I mean the boys, they won as a team. Their top individual finishers were Christian Harris in third place, Boston Byer in fourth place. But I think you said perfectly. You know, it's going to be postseason for them in literally just a couple weeks.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's the idea of, you know, some of the kids, you know, they started a little slow intentionally, right? You know, you want to work up to it, but they're working up to being ready for that postseason run.
Yeah, you know, I think cross country, it seems to be very much a rhythm sport, right? You have times when you're running where you're not feeling like you're in the best of places, but you're trying to build up to that maximum level, and now's the time to be there. So hopefully the kids are able to feel like they're clearly running at their absolute best. Sounds like from the results we're seeing that.
Absolutely.
And of course, best of luck here in the next few weeks.
All right, and another group that's obviously having some success in the postseason, we'll talk boys golf. They were third place at regionals, which gets them to sectionals. Jacob Anderson was the low score, I guess we want to use proper golf terminology for us, finished third overall with a 75. So again, just kind of that sense of, you know, we talked rhythm. I think golf is the ultimate rhythm sport, and so for Jacob and the guys, they seem to be in a good spot.
Yeah, I think so. I think that qualified them for sectionals as a team, right?
Yes, it did.
Shooting in the mid-70s at Kellogg the other day, from what I heard and talked with Mr. Jones about a little bit, the wind was very much a factor. So, you know, club selection and sorting out, you know, winds, where they're coming from, makes it just a completely different game. So I think 75 is a pretty darn good score when you consider all those things. So congrats to Jacob, and of course to the whole team for their success there as they get ready for the sectionals, which I think is going to be played at the University of Illinois, at their old Savoy course. So that's just a great
That's
experience.
cool. Yeah, it's an awesome opportunity for them there. Another group entering the postseason, got tennis. Mid-Illini Conference tournament is this Saturday. So folks at home, if you're looking for something to do, Mid-Illini Conference tennis this Saturday. And then not quite the postseason yet, but a team that got an important win was our soccer team.
Right, yeah, you know, the soccer team, as we talked about in our last show, has had a tough season as far as getting in the win column. As we always do at the soccer, with the soccer program, we play a really tough schedule. And so, you know, took a few on the chin, but it's good to get in the victory column the other night against East Peoria. And that feeling, of course, we hope carries them over into some more tough competition heading into the next couple of weeks. I know Dunlap and Washington still await the conference level, and those two teams are having really excellent seasons. So hopefully we can get a result. If anything, get a tie out of it to get a point and really build confidence to a young team that's been certainly challenged through the year.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, one thing, we're going to step away from the playing field, I guess, for a second. Last week was homecoming week here at Morton High School, and we put together a short feature that highlights just kind of the homecoming experience. We talked to Coach O'Neill. He's always so gracious with his time, just kind of about how this can, you know, the football experience, homecoming experience can bring the community together. Let's take a look at that feature.
Tradition is always a big piece of any high school sports experience, and for that matter, the high school experience at large. But one of the biggest traditions at any high school, Morton included, is the Friday night of homecoming. Obviously, the football game is a huge piece of that, but the reality is the fun of homecoming starts even before football, with the Thursday parade through downtown Morton. As you can see with this clip, our marching band is a huge piece of that. But we had a chance to talk with Coach Adam O'Neill about the entire homecoming experience.
Right, obviously is behind us. Of course, this Thursday, the magic of television. You're going to see this on Friday, but it's Thursday. So you got practice about to go, but then you got homecoming parade and all that. Let's talk a little bit about that whole experience.
Well, I think homecoming and then really every Friday night is, football gives us a unique opportunity to bring the entire community together. And homecoming, highlights that, you don't see any other events, outside of the Pumpkin Fest the rest of the time, rest of the year where, the whole town's going to be together. We're gonna have our band out here, our flag corps out here, our cheerleaders and dance, and then lots of kids doing positive things on Friday nights, and then the community gets to come together and watch that. And I think that's the unique part about football. There's not a lot of other opportunities that 5 nights and hopefully more than that, the entire town comes together and watches together and shares some fellowship.
As Coach O'Neill said, there's nothing quite like homecoming. The introduction of the King and Queen, always an exciting piece of it as well. That Thursday night pep rally out at Carper Field is always memorable for our students, and perhaps even more memorable this year as it concluded with fireworks.
So you see it there, right? Coach O'Neill, obviously some very positive words. I think he makes a good point, right? The idea of bringing a community together, and there are only so many ways you can do that. Now, Morton does have the Pumpkin Fest, which he did mention, but I think the high school athletic experience, and especially that homecoming day, are oftentimes the biggest kind of like community event that you're going to see.
Yeah, we talked about it a couple weeks ago, right? Pageantry. It's
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of what makes high school sports, and I think even notably, particularly in the fall, high school football in America, very much part of our kind of, Americana culture. And so that's, of course, what Coach was kind of alluding to. And, it's cool that he gets that, he sees that, of course, we want to win and all of those things, but there's so much more to this whole experience.
And I appreciated that he mentioned not only just the football, but a lot of kids doing positive things when you get to a Friday night and the band's out there and the cheerleaders out there and the dance team's out there. And so kind of that idea of just a lot of positivity when you look around and think about the experience of a Friday night, like you said, win or lose.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we're about, right? We're educators, and
Yeah.
this is an extension of the classroom. You talk about extracurriculars, so it's great to see and have the community involved. It's special.
Absolutely, and unfortunately the Potters did fall on the football field 27-24 to the Pekin Dragons, but again, they'll be back at it this Friday night. They go to Limestone, so chance to pick up a win there. Limestone has been struggling in the Mid-Illini so far this year, so hopefully they get a W there. And again, it's awesome. It's applicable kind of to what we were talking about with soccer, where if you can get that kind of critical win to kind of change your mindset, it sets you up potentially to make a run later in the season.
Yeah, I think if I'm looking at things correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, we're sitting at 4 games remaining.
4 games remaining.
And we've got Limestone and East Peoria.
Yep.
And of course, we are expecting tough games there, but our guys can go out and get this. And that gets us to a point where we have an opportunity to maybe get an upset type of a game against either Dunlap or Washington that could get us into the playoffs with 5 wins. Go for that.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And then the other piece of the puzzle is, and this is maybe more getting into the minutia of it all, maybe that's a whole different show, but is that last year there were teams that made the playoffs at 4 and 5.
Really?
And because we played Muhammad and a Rochelle that are going to have tremendously good records, if we can get to 4, we've got a chance to at least be on the bubble because we'll accumulate a lot of playoff points because we played a highly competitive schedule.
Interesting.
So, I mean, obviously you want to win at least 5 and just kind of be there, but there's an outside chance, but like you said, they got to get the job done starting this week against
one game at a time.
Exactly that. And one game at a time, one show at a time, and that'll be it for this show. But make sure you are back next week, folks, where we're hopefully talking about that football win over Limestone and a whole lot more. So, for Brian Dieters, I'm Ryan Lindley. Goodbye, everybody.